Hello friends, Tanya here with another fun video. We are going to go through the Spellbinders Summertime collection. This is a Lisa Horton collection. We've got decorative lattice, open lace frame, and scene, I think. No, landscapes. Frame and landscapes. We've got lots of different layers that create a lovely landscape. The dies here will play well together. They're their same size, same scale. Then we have the containers and foliage. And we have stargazers. These are some lovely lily-like flowers. We have the garden planter with lots of foliage and a few different flower designs, actually two. Then we have the ripped edge circles. These layered together remind me of a stump, like the tree rings. Very cute. So we're going to assemble all of these different elements. We've got the stargazers, which have some codes here. The A stem and the A leaf pieces. And then we have two different sizes of lilies and two lily buds. So you line up your leaf details. They are coded, like I said. The A stem and the A leaf segments go together. And all you do is add a little bit of glue to the lower portion of the leaves, not the upper. For some reason, I thought they went on the top, but they go on the lower portion of the leaves. And each die cuts the right number and the right shape of leaves for each of these stems. I love that they have the letters on the dies to help you figure out how you should assemble these. Now the lilies each have 3 layers for the petals, and I'm using a little tiny micro blending brush here, and I'm applying some orange colored ink that is a little darker than the cardstock I'm using. I want to add a little bit of shading and depth and extra interest, and if I really thought ahead, I would have added some little dots for like a tiger lily. Some little dark brown dots on the insides of those leaves. I put layers 1 and 2 together. Actually, they're not numbered, but I'm calling them layers 1 and 2. Added the center for your flower, and then added layer 3 for the petals. And then you just adhere that to your stem. So we've got a larger lily, and we have a smaller lily. We have the this is stem B, and the leaves that, or the leaf pieces, the leaf shading that we add to stem B. Oh my goodness. Now you can add the lily tops or the lily flowers and the stems to whichever you would like. I'm just going to assemble these the same way that they are assembled on the packaging. I tend to do that the first time I use a die set, just so I get a feel for how they work before I start going on a wild tangent and using them in ways other than they are pictured on the product display. So we've got our third stem assembled, and now we will do the second size of the lily. I think this one's the bigger one. The first one must have been the smaller one. They look the same except for the size. So it's good to have a little variety there. It does make it very easy to assemble these. Just going to add a little bit of glue. I think I probably could have used less glue, but I don't want my stuff to fall apart. Now we'll add the center. Now the die that cuts out the flower centers cuts both out at the same time. I love that they are starting to combine some of the really tiny die pieces together, so you're cutting a grouping of things, and then you don't lose your dies. Those little tiny dies can be a little bit tough to keep track of. Then we have just one stem left. This is stem D with its coordinating little tiny die for the leaf. Just going to add that. I'm using my pokey tool. Spellbinders now does have a set of tools that each tool does one task, and that's great. There's a wax tip, there's a pokey tool, and honestly, I don't remember what the other two are right now. Now we're going to assemble the containers and foliage. The different containers, this could be either a tall vase with a wide base, or it could be a wrap like the newspaper or pretty paper wrap for a bouquet of flowers. We've got this branch of leaves that you can use these pieces separate. I think the branch part and the leaf parts would work very well as fillers separate, and this is what they look like assembled. It goes together very nicely. Then we have, here I'm showing you that you can use that either direction. Then we have a pretty little bow that you can add to this little bouquet or to any of the vases, and it has 3 pieces. This adds the inside of the loops and a contrasting color, and then there is a little circle for the knot of the bow. Next we have a tall, thin vase or vase, however you would like to say that, and I did cut each of these coordinating pieces, or each vase or wrap, bouquet wrap, the pieces were all cut from the same color of cardstock for each one. So there's only 2 pieces per vase, but you get where I'm going. Then I used some ink, just whatever ink happened to be on my yellow brush, my purple brush, my pink brush, my blue brush, and just added a little bit of contrasting color, a little bit of shading to each of those, so I didn't have to use multiple colors of cardstock. Next we have our garden planter, and we'll assemble that. I really like that planter. It is so cute. I love a good wooden barrel style planter. We've got 4 different sizes of 5-petal flowers here, and they each have a center. The 2 smallest share the same size center. Now you could layer those up to make them more lush, or you can leave them plain. We've got this branch with berries or buds. I chose to just use some gold metallic cardstock for both the centers of the flowers and for these little berries. One die cuts all of the little berries that you need, and it also cuts the flower centers. Then we have our sweet little barrel design here. I used some craft colored cardstock, and I did some ink blending on the background piece for whatever shows through the cracks between these pieces. They have some wood grain die cut into them, and they very easily fit on the front of our little planter. This adds such depth and dimension. I just love how easy it is to assemble and how beautiful this comes out. There are a couple of bands that will go across the barrel to hold that together, to hold the planks together. One is longer than the other, and you just line those up with the edges of the barrel, and you can easily find where they fit. Next we have the lip of the barrel. Now I chose to go with a really dark color. You really wouldn't have to. A slightly darker color than the craft would work, but I wanted this to be a nice dark color, and it could be another rim on, or another band on your barrel style garden container. Then there's all kinds of greenery you can add in this, and I love that there is a hole that you can tuck all of your stems in. There's 4 pieces that cut out together that look like grasses, or the spiky, I don't even know what they're called, but I think they're just labeled spikes when I go to the garden center. Then we have a couple of 3-leaf branches, and then we can just pop in our flowers in a variety of spots, and that will make an adorable garden planter. Then we have Leaf and Bloom. This is really pretty. I believe this is from the Poppy Song collection. It's not actually part of the Summertime collection, but I thought the style really went well with the Stargazers. Now this one has just 2 layers. It's the flower center and the flower petals, I should say 3, and then the stem. They're very easy to assemble. Each of these flowers just has a center and a stem to go with them, and there is a stem for each of the flowers, plus a multi-leaf filler piece that you can add. And you can add any of these flower heads to any of the stems and it will look delightful. I decided I wanted to make to me it has a feeling of seed packets, and that's kind of where we're going with this card. Now let's get into the card. I'm going to use spiced marmalade and fossilized amber. These are colors I don't use very often. We all get into color ruts, but we're going to give this a whirl. Now I personally had been holding off getting a glass board studio because I really didn't want to spend money on a tool I wouldn't necessarily need. But I find that I end up needing to replace my craft mat or my cutting mat at least once a year because it gets so stained from all of the heavy use that I use, and I want it not to be too distracting, the background. So this time I went ahead and I got the Glassboard Studio. As you can see, it's in that light gray, which I really love. No, I do not have an affiliate link for Glassboard Studio, although I wonder if scrapbook.com sells them. I might be able to link it. We'll see. And I decided to do some smushing on this glass surface. It's one way you can do it, and I actually kind of like the smooshy lines. It almost looks like tiger skin to me, kind of. I mean, it's not black and orange, but it's got that linear look to it, but it's still a smush. So I went ahead and I ink smushed all over on this piece of cardstock. We're going to use the 5x7 Matting Basic Set B largest die, my favorite in the world. And then we're going to bring in the favorite song embossing folder. This is a 3D embossing folder. It came out with the Poppy Song collection, and it creates this wonderful background with it looks like music, sheet music. We're also going to use the Golden Hour Solar Paste? Lunar Paste. I don't remember. It's the lovely Golden Hour. I'm just going to use my finger to lightly apply this to the raised area. And since it's a light color and has this wonderful shimmer, it isn't super distracting if it gets onto the depressed areas of the cardstock. Part of the reason why I like the Golden Hour so much. It adds an extra definition to your embossing without the distraction of boo-boos. Next, we're going to use the decorative lattice. I'm going to cut this from some deep brown and some white cardstock. I'm using the leaf and blooms and the stargazers that we created. And I'm going to use these kind of like a lattice in your garden. But to me, they kind of look like seed packets also. It's got the shape of a seed packet. And I'm just going to go with it. I think they look just stunning. So we've got one that has a brown background and one with a white picket. And we've got one with a white background and a brown background. Now the brown cardstock it looks like brushed corduroy color if you're doing distress inks. It is a retired Stampin' Up! Color. I believe it's baked brown sugar. I think that's it, baked brown sugar. Anyway, it's a color that I really like and have been working through my stash. I'm trying to tuck the ends of the stems in the lattice to create a nice pattern of flowers here. I have daylilies in my yard that are actually this color of orange, and they don't come up. I mean, I see the actual daylilies themselves coming up, but they're kind of a June, July type of blooming here in my yard. I years ago, probably 15 years ago, planted I think 5 of them around the base of an oak tree, and they have now spread all the way around the oak tree. I love it. I love when I don't have to do a darn thing and they just keep coming back. I am adding little dots of glue along this lattice background, and then we will adhere that to the backer panel. The hardest part of this for me was keeping the flower die cuts where I wanted them without losing their placement when I was assembling the lattice frame here. just making sure all of my lines are where they need to be, and I'm going to add little dots of glue behind the flower heads. Now the stargazers, I had already put a heavyweight block on top of those to help those dry in place. They needed that little bit of extra help there. And now I'm going to trim the excess off of the stems. The rest I do want to overhang. Now we're going to find our placement. We're covering a lot of that ink smushed background, but that's okay. I just wanted it to make a nice background, very artsy. We're looking for a free-spirited, arty look to this entire card. I added some extra cardstock behind the embossed panel background, and we'll adhere that to our 5x7 card base. Just going to let that get nicely attached, and then I will finish figuring out the placement. Who would have known you could stick 2 of these on one card? I mean, they are pretty big. They are sized for an A2 size card, but I am stretching for all I'm worth here. We will add this one directly down to the card panel without any extra cardstock, layers on the back. And then to make this lay evenly, I used some extra cardstock shims on the left side of that piece. Next, we're going to take some sentiments from the Summer Solstice sentiments and the Nature's Botanical Garden sentiments. These are better press plates from Susan Tierney Cockney. And these are, no, Susan Tierney Cockburn, sorry. These are, I think they are on the clearance rack in the Spellbinders shops in the UK and the US. I think only one of them is available in the US shop. And they are both still available at scrapbook.com. I love these wonderful sentiments. This one I am holding in my hand right now says, "In summer, the song sings itself." And then I also have "Happy Blooming Birthday." And the inside of our card is going to say, "The earth has music for those who listen." I love those sentiments, and I haven't really gotten a chance to use them yet. This card really seemed to call for any of those flower punny type sayings. I did add extra cardstock layers behind those sentiments to help them stand out on the card front. Next, we'll take that large, beautiful sentiment for the inside and another stargazer lily, and we're going to adhere those near the top of the card front, or the inside of the card. All of these sentiments were not embossed, glimmered with the satin metallic collection in is that rose gold? I think it is rose gold. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't done that. Check that description box below for a link to all of the products that I used today. And leave me a comment. I would love to hear what you have to say. Tell me about your garden. Until next time, here are a couple more videos I thought you might enjoy. Bye-bye.